I'm here to tell you, Stephanie White has finally spoken to the media and gave a little clarity about Caitlin Clark's injury. Now, there's a lot of people that is expecting Caitlin Clark to come back.
Forget the polished injury report, forget the fake smiles and scripted interviews. Caitlin Clark isn't just sitting out, she was deliberately targeted. And now the WNBA is working overtime to bury the truth. The first crack in this filthy cover-up, it came straight from her own coach, Stephanie White, whose awkward, twitchy press conference felt less like leadership and more like someone being told to shut up and obey. Her dodgy words, her forced tone, it screamed, "I'm hiding something. This isn't just an injury. It's the final blow in a long, disgusting trend. A season filled with cheap shots, ignored fouls, and silent suffering. And while Caitlin Clark gets dragged through the mud and battered on the court, the league, the very league that profits off her name, watches in silence. What's happening here isn't mismanagement. It's sabotage. And if this spirals further, it won't just end Caitlin's rookie season, it could set the entire WNBA on fire. They're hoping you stay quiet. They're hoping you'll look the other way. But now it's time to talk. If you think Caitlin is getting hate, comment, "Free Caitlin."
Obviously, none of the All-Stars practice today, but how is Caitlin progressing from that right now?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen since the game last night, but, I think she's progressing. I think that we're continuing to address, everything that needs to be addressed. She's going to see some doctors and get some more tests run early in the week. I don't expect her to be available on Tuesday. So we're just going to continue to take it one day at a time and let her get her evaluation.
She go one day at a time, bro. Like, this is the same song y'all been saying. All this one day at a time, this day to day. This is a growing injury, bro. It's going to be 2 to 3 weeks, man. I can't think of that doctor name because it was a doctor, guys. If I can find it, if I can find this post, let me find.
The first red flag, it didn't come from doctors. It came from Caitlin Clark's own head coach, Stephanie White. And what she said raised serious alarms. Reporters gathered, hoping for answers, a clear injury update, maybe some honesty. But instead, they got confusion, stammering, and a shady smokescreen that made things even worse. Stephanie White admitted on camera that she only learned about the severity of Clark's injury late last night. Yet Caitlin had already gotten an MRI way earlier that day. Wait, what? In the world of pro sports, the head coach is always the first to know if their star player is injured. So what's going on here? Was the medical team hiding something from her, or was she just playing dumb to protect someone higher up? This wasn't a miscommunication. This felt like a script, a rehearsed damage control act designed to keep fans in the dark. And let's be real, when a league starts controlling the narrative like this, it's no longer about protecting the player. It's about protecting themselves.
How much patience do I need to have before I can start going nuclear? Because I am getting very frustrated with what I am seeing. To everybody that said Caitlin Clark didn't look like herself, salute to you. For everybody that said Caitlin Clark might be going through something, salute to you. Clearly, you all saw what that person that stands there like this can't see.
In another interview, when reporters asked Stephanie White the one question that could have cleared everything up, what did the MRI say? She didn't give answers. She gave excuses. Her reply was, "You'll have to ask our training staff." That's not leadership. That's deflection. In a moment that called for clarity and control, Stephanie sounded like someone either completely clueless or, worse, completely silenced. This didn't look like a coach handling a star player's crisis. It looked like someone walking on eggshells, scared to speak the truth. And that's when the real alarm bells started ringing. Why is there so much secrecy? Why is the head coach of the franchise being kept in the dark about her most valuable player? It doesn't add up. The weird silence, the sketchy timeline, the dodged questions. It all starts to look less like an injury update and more like a cover-up in progress. And here's the worst part. This isn't just about hiding a sprain or a bruise. This feels like a full-blown effort to bury what really happened to Caitlin Clark.
Reported yesterday, like pain in the left groin.
It had to have been at some point during the day because the
They took her out yesterday, for the MRI. So I'm not exactly sure. I didn't hear about it until we heard from our training staff last night.
And with the MRI, did it show a strain or anything? Or
I don't. Yeah.
That awkward, confusing interview, it gets even darker when you rewind and watch what Caitlin Clark's been going through these last few weeks. The media played it off casually. She's just in a shooting slump. Really? A slump? That wasn't a cold streak. That was a breakdown. Slow, painful, and happening right in front of everyone. Caitlin didn't go 1 for 23 from deep over 3 games because she forgot how to shoot. She's not some rookie who suddenly lost her talent overnight. Her body was breaking down. And nobody did a damn thing. You could see it in her form. The hesitation, the dead legs, the shots falling short. That wasn't mental. That was physical pain, masked and ignored. And here's the ugly truth no one wants to admit. An elite athlete is like a precision machine. One wrong piece, and the whole system collapses. So ask yourself, why didn't anyone stop her? Why was she pushed through game after game while her body was clearly in distress? Because when the league's cash cow cries for help, it seems like the only priority is to shut her up and keep her moving.
I want you guys to watch this. How CC got injured, refs aftermath. So there's a referee standing right there. We all can see. Look, JC Sheldon knees CC in the groin. Can you guys see this right here? You guys see that? That is a knee. JC Sheldon's knee is all the way fully, her whole leg is fully extended off the ground into Caitlin Clark hand and groin area. You clearly see that. She immediately grabs her groin.
This wasn't just an injury, it was a full-blown failure of the WNBA system. When Caitlin Clark went down against the Connecticut Sun, it didn't feel like bad luck. It felt like a setup. You don't see your franchise player getting hit again and again by accident. This was targeted, planned, executed. Whether it was cooked up by Kathy Engelbert herself or carried out by jealous, dirty-playing rivals, one thing is clear, the plan worked. Because all eyes are always on Caitlin. She's the face of the league, the fan favorite. And that makes her a threat to the very people who want to keep controlling the spotlight. So, what's the league's solution? Keep her benched. Keep her quiet. Let her sit on the sidelines while they keep milking her name for ticket sales, but God forbid she actually plays and wins. And instead of telling the truth, Stephanie White ducks the press and avoids straight answers. Why? Who's pulling her strings? This doesn't feel like basketball anymore. It feels like a takedown in slow motion.
Confronts the referee, but he doesn't care. It's the same referee. No, hold on. This is not the same footage.
At this point, it doesn't just feel like Caitlin Clark is being targeted. It feels like the whole system is rigged. You want proof? Let's talk about the refs. This season, their behavior has been nothing short of suspicious. It's as if they've been bought, playing blind game after game, and the money trail might just lead straight to Kathy Engelbert. In Clark's last game, when she tried to speak to the ref after taking a nasty hit, he brushed her off, ignored her, treated her like a rookie nobody. And then boom, a new camera angle comes out, and what do we see? JC Sheldon clearly delivering a dirty, cheap shot. So now tell me, why didn't the ref see that? Why didn't he listen? Because he wasn't supposed to. Because the script was already written, and Caitlin wasn't meant to be the hero. That cheap shot, it led to a brutal injury. Again. And this time, the cost was massive. Clark missed the All-Star event. Let that sink in. The biggest name in women's basketball, blocked from the biggest stage. All because of a planned, perfectly timed takedown. And you know why? Because if Caitlin had played, she would have stolen the spotlight. She would have owned the night. She would have taken that All-Star MVP trophy and reminded the world who the real queen of the WNBA is. But instead, they took her out, quietly, cleanly, like a threat that had to be removed. The numbers don't lie. They scream. This season, a jaw-dropping 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA have been committed against just one player, Caitlin Clark. Let that sink in. Out of 144 players across the league, nearly 1/5 of all flagrant fouls have been aimed at a single woman. That's not bad luck. That's not rookie treatment. That's a calculated campaign to break her, mentally, physically, and publicly. You don't need to be a data expert to understand what this really is. This is a hit list, a silent agreement, a green light from the top. Take her out, make her pay, make sure she doesn't shine. And the worst part? The league knows. They see the numbers, they see the fouls, but they stay quiet because silence protects power. This isn't just about one player taking hits. It's about an entire system turning a blind eye because targeting Caitlin Clark keeps certain names on top and keeps certain people in control. It didn't start yesterday. This war against Caitlin Clark has been boiling under the surface since her very first WNBA game. Let's rewind. Kennedy Carter's blindside hit, that wasn't just a foul. It was an off-ball ambush, a cheap shot assault with zero connection to basketball. It looked more like something out of a street fight than a professional game. And then came the Chicago Sky. Angel Reese, instead of showing sportsmanship, celebrated a hard foul like she'd won a championship, laughing, smiling, as if hurting Clark was the goal, not the win. But it gets even more disturbing. Against Connecticut, the most damning moment happened. First, J.C. Sheldon deliberately pokes Caitlin in the eye. Not a bump, not an accident, a direct, intentional eye poke. And while she's disoriented, bam, Marina Mabrey blindsides her with a brutal shove, like a lion pouncing on an injured deer. Now ask yourself, one of these things might be a coincidence? 2? Maybe a pattern. But 3 or more? This is a hunt. An organized, calculated effort to intimidate, injure, and erase the most valuable player in the WNBA. And you know what's the most disgusting part? It's not even that these attacks happened, it's that the league let them happen. No suspensions, no statements, no accountability. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just being targeted, she's being sacrificed. Let's make one thing brutally clear. Caitlin Clark should not step back on that court until she's 100% healthy. Not 90%, not 95%, but fully healed. Because this isn't just about one injury. This is about her career, her legacy, and her life. We've seen how this league has treated her. Targeted, blindsided, exploited, ignored. She's been hit more times than anyone in the league, and the system still expects her to suit up and smile for the cameras. Enough is enough. The Indiana Fever must protect their superstar, not just use her for ticket sales and headlines. Even if Caitlin begs to play, even if she's ready to fight, you sit her down. Because if she rushes back too soon, one injury will turn into another and another until the very thing that made her a phenomenon is gone. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what some people in this league want. But we won't let that happen. Because this isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about respect, about safety, about justice. So now we ask you, what do you think is really going on here? Is Caitlin being protected or being played? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, subscribe for more raw, unfiltered truth the media won't tell you.